brothers and sisters, put your hands together for Apocalypse.
Peace. Here we go. Another day from the depths of Apocalypse. Dogs to Gods Entertainment. With a quick word of reflection, a quick word in the mirror of truth, a quick word as we continue to ponder the divine revelation from the Swan Song message delivered by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan on February 27, 2022. And it's out there for anyone that's listening to my voice to pull up and go and dig into. You know, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan mentioned that we have to endure the process until we accomplish the goal of which we were brought forth from our mother's womb. And that's not a quote, but it's pretty much something he said in the Swan Song message. Now, what does that mean to me? Or what can I gather from that to help me today in this life as we go forward? You know, because that speaks to a time whenever that was, you know, because before we were fashioned in our mother's womb, Allah knew us, according to Jeremiah 1:5. And so coming forth from the womb, you know, up to this point, you know, if I'm going to endure the process until I accomplish the goal of which I was brought forth from the womb, then I have to know what that goal is. Which means I will have to know something about myself. Now, we've heard that saying, man, know thyself. You know what I mean? What does that mean? Because according to the teachings of Elijah Muhammad, our true self is a righteous Muslim. Also, okay, Muslim. I said that word again. All that means is one who submits his will entirely to do the will of God. So the God of your understanding, you know, submitting your will to do his will, which means you have to know God. So in order for me to know myself, I have to know God. Now, Elijah Muhammad said every time he's looking at a black man, he's looking at God. Now, you could take that the way you want to take it, you know, but you can't refute it with intelligence. You know, so just dig into it to get some understanding. That's all. Just dig into it to get some understanding in the mirror of truth, because all of this, anything that we hear, anything that we see, anything that we experience, anything that we're taught is for us to move forward in this life. So in order to accomplish the goal of which you were brought from your mother's womb, we have to know ourselves. How well do you know yourself? You know, I have a step in my book, Walking the Road to Recovery, 9 Steps in Motion, step number 5, that says process the data. You know, and it deals with the who, what, when, where, why of life. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. You know what I mean? And so who, what, when, where, why, and how, that's basically the foundation of critical thinking. How much do I do this with myself? Meaning going back, not to get stuck, but to process information about me that I'm talking about in reference to who, what, when, where, why, you know, because that's how I'm going to determine how I got to where I am. Because everything is a result of my own thinking. I am where I am as a result of my own thinking, because I attracted, Ms. Louis Farrakhan said the universe is like a mammary gland. You pull on it. So within my own life, within my own thinking, everything that I'm dealing with right now is a result of what I have pulled out of this whole universal structure. And so here I am. See, that takes the blame game away, because even if people, places, or things were involved with me getting to this point, I still cannot deny the fact that it was my thinking that attracted these things to me, or that attracted me to these things. So to the degree that I can get some control over what's going on in his head, which is a lot, because Elijah Muhammad say thought travels on average at 24 billion miles per second. So that's a lot going on up in this brain. Even though the average person only speaks 400 words considered well. 400 words is a lot of words to be traveling that fast. You know what I'm saying? So in order for me to accomplish the goal of which I was brought from my mother's womb, then I have to know enough about myself to do so. Okay, so that's what I'm processing this morning so that I can continue to move forward in this life, so that I can do my best to do what the 9th step in my book is. I keep pointing back here because I do have a banner back here, but it's covered. Walking the Road to Recovery. 9 Steps in Motion is the name of the book. The 9th step in my book is stay relevant. You know what I mean? Am I relevant, or am I even conscious of whether or not I am doing my best to be relevant in this time, which is the fulfillment of time, where the Messiah is in our midst, where Allah is taking complete control, which he's always had. He's moving all of the chess pieces on the board, but taking control in a way that fulfills the verses that say that we're in the day of judgment. We're in the days of Allah. We're at that time where Allah's kingdom is being established while Satan's world is going down. So am I relevant? Am I conscious of whether or not I'm being relevant in such a time? What does my life look like in the fulfillment of time? Is that a question that I ask myself? Is that a question that I ponder so that I can get on the track, to accomplish, endure until I accomplish the goal of which I was brought from my mother's womb. Swan song in full effect. The words of it cannot be exhausted. There's not enough pens. There's not enough ink. You know what I'm saying? That's our word today for the Deaths of Apocalypse. If you're in Chicago, come on through to the foodie spot, 7350 South Stony Island Avenue. If you have the heart and desire to support our efforts with Walking the Road to Recovery, 9 Steps in Motion, you can go to www.9stepsinmotion, 9stepsinmotion.com. Send people to the site to get involved with the process of freeing themselves from drug abuse. That's our word today from the Deaths of Apocalypse. Enjoy your day. Peace.